camera so that you can see. Oh, we've been live for 8 seconds now over here.
Hey! Hey! Ladies, who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? Who run this mother? Who run this mother? All right. Easy. Welcome again, Facebook followers and friends, to another edition of You Gonna Need a Lot More Wine. Cheers. Cheers. All right.
And yes, Brandy, you can drink whiskey, but we don't do wine. We don't do wine.
Just today.
Just today.
So just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. First of all, the reason for our topics here that we are going to be discussing on Facebook Live every week is basically to educate, to empower, to enlighten, to encourage, and to engage all of our viewers in conversations that's going to definitely bring awareness to each of our topics that we're going to be discussing. One last thing, whichever item that you choose to partake in, whether it be wine, whether it be vodka, or whatever it might be, please drink responsibly and do not drink and drive. All right, let's get it, ladies. Yeah.
So we're coming back at you because we had a topic of about when is enough last week, and we got so many comments saying please continue this conversation. We need to discuss. We had so much feedback that we're back again. We're here. So we're gonna finish that discussion. Did we have a comment from somebody saying we attract the type of people we are?
We attract who we are.
We attract who we are. Yeah. I'd like to expound on that one. And I'm going to be preparing food because I am hungry, been working all day. Normally, we would be coming at you on a Saturday. We're coming at you on Friday because everybody got something to do tomorrow and Sunday. So
I need you to go and get that food ready because I'm hungry too.
Okay, so let's get it started. Welcome back and happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
So today's topic, this is part 2 of when is enough and when you know you're supposed to leave while you stay. So we're going to have a phone number for you all to call in if you have comments or questions for us today. And the phone number is, Ms. Carla?
Phone number is 404-513-7078. Now remember, this is only for the topics for today. Please do not blow that phone up after we get done, please. Okay.
And we're going to hear from the men on this topic of when is enough. When have you thrown in a towel on a relationship? When did you let it go and say, you know what? I just can't do no more. I can't.
So let me ask you guys a question. So I had another situation. It seems like I'm always having situations, but I don't always tell my girlfriends about all the stuff I go through because they don't speak to me.
Just most of them she tells me.
Most of them I do. So I had a situation where I was going out with this gentleman. Really handsome young man, fine, tall. I mean, just everything you think you would want to see. So, we go to dinner one night, and the next night he takes me, to the park. And so after these couple of little dates, I was like, well, can I come over to your house? And he had a nerve to agree to this, knowing good doggone well that he did not want me to come to his house. So we were on the way to his house, and we stopped at the gas station. So in the process of us being at the gas station, I get out of the car to go inside and pick up something out of the store. And how about this ninja get in his car and just pull off? Oh, now, you know what? Now, hey, we're going to need a lot more wine for this one. We're going to need a lot more wine before I finish this. Got in his car and drove off. And I'm standing there thinking, like, you know what? This really is not happening, okay?
He left you in the store?
Left me in the store and pulled off. You know what? Hey, you know what? I got in my car and I started following behind him like I dang on Bonnie in this month. And I'm thinking to myself, am I really just following this dude? Is he really trying to? I mean, I'm telling you, this dude was trying to lose me, and I'm still just riding behind him.
But why did you feel the need to ride behind him?
You know what? Because first of all, I just couldn't believe it was happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what? Is this really happening to me? Okay, I'm just gonna follow this dude just to see if he really trying to lose me. So of course he was. And you know what? I followed him for a little bit, then I said, you know what? Let me just not do this because this is not even something that I'm used to doing. So, Facebook friends, y'all tell me what would you have done in a situation like that? Would you have continued to follow him?
Dion Aikens said, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. This is my girlfriend Carla. I don't know. What you, I mean, did the police? I mean, how fast were you all going?
We were going pretty fast, and you know, as a matter of fact, his lights. He actually turned his lights out so I couldn't even.
So why did he even agree? Where did you all end up at? Did you just stop? Did you stop pursuing? Or
yes, I actually did stop pursuing him. So you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm just not even gonna do this. But my question to all of our Facebook followers is: would you have continued to pursue this gentleman after you know he was trying to lose you in the first place? I mean, what would you have done in this situation? And for our men, I would like for y'all to chime in on this as well. Why would you agree to a situation knowing that it was not going to turn out for the good? Why would you just not be honest right up front? You know, I later on found out that the gentleman was married, but you know, you could have told me that up front and we wouldn't even have to go through those situations. So, I mean, you know, chime in. Tell me what you guys think. I mean, that was a very tough situation for me. But hey, you know what? It's one of those things where it's not gonna happen again because I'm not gonna even be dealing with stuff like that.
right. So the question for today's viewers is what? Back to knowing someone is not being honest about something. Should they have would they have kept pursuing the car? So what's the question for the people that's watching today? What's the question we're asking them?
Yes. So the question is, would you have just let him go ahead and go on about his business? Or would you, because I know for me, I like closure in situations. And I just felt like I needed some closure right there, man. I'm like, you know what? He ain't about to do this. He about to tell me exactly why he is doing what he's doing, and I just wasn't going to let it go until I got some closure with it. So, you know, are you the type of person that needs closure in situations? Because I know that I am. I like to have closure as opposed to just, you know, ending something or letting something go without, you know, getting a final answer about it.
And what did he ultimately say?
Well, he ultimately didn't say anything. I mean, I didn't talk to him for a few days. I finally saw him in the gym one day, and I'm like, you know what? Someone else had to actually tell me that he was married. I still didn't ever get that answer out of him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, what you think? What you think, Bree? What would you have done?
The moment he got in his car and left me, I would have thought it's a good sign. Just go on your way. Because he started off just being a liar.
Correct. That is correct.
He just started out being a liar. So that was good. He just went his line behind on his way. And you went ahead and went your way. So he actually did you a favor. So in this instance, you got a chance to see who he was up front. And you didn't waste any of your precious time dealing with a liar and a loser.
But why would he even agree that she should come by his house? That sounds sadistic and psychopathic to me. If you know you're married, I mean, just be like, you know, I don't really know you that well, and it takes, I have no idea what you should say. But why are you going to say, yeah, you can come by, and then, you know, say, oh, we need to stop by the gas station, and then leave her in the gas station while you drove off?
But see, she was driving her own car too, so that was good.
Oh, you were driving your own car?
I was in my own vehicle.
Oh, I thought you were in the car. You let you in there.
I got Honda up. I got
it. What?
We're going to definitely need some more wine. We got to let me
That's what I'm saying. Why would you even agree to something like that?
Right,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why would you agree to something like that?
You know, Breezy, I kind of like what you said a little bit ago about, you know, he showed his hands eventually, and I didn't have to continue with that situation. And that's true. My mentor told me years ago, you know, and you know, this is for the men and women. If you just wait, you know, just be patient in relationships, that person will eventually show you who they truly are.
Sure they do.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I mean, I guess the moral of that story is, you know, you definitely have to be patient and just, you know, don't try to rush situations. We talked about this in our last conversation, you know, about just feeling like you need to have someone in your life. You know, you don't have to continue to go through craziness. You know, we should just, you know, sit back. And I do a lot of that now. Just kind of sit back, relax, you know, don't rush into relationships, you know, try to get to know that person.
Mm-hmm. And does some of that patience and wisdom come with age? What would you say to younger women that don't have that type of wisdom or just that patience? You know what I mean? Like, what would you say to the younger women that are watching?
Yeah, that's true. What I would say to them is, just love yourself first. Again, I talked about this in our last topics. It's just, love yourself first. And that way you won't have to feel like you have to go out and be in a relationship, whether it be with a man, whether it be with a woman or whatnot. So just, know yourself.
I think it's difficult to say love yourself first when you don't really even know what loving yourself looks like. Because when Breezy said she was like so in love with her husband, I've been there, done that. I think we've all been there, done that. And it's like, all you really want is for that relationship to survive, right? And all you want to do is whatever you can do.
Right.
To not like old girl said, I get on my knees till they bloody red for you not to leave me, right? So how do you know? I mean, when you're feeling like that towards somebody, and nothing else matters but that person, right? Nothing else matters, and you'll get on your knees and then that's when they start taking advantage of you. That's when they start making a fool out of you and playing you to see, just how far they can push that dang meter.
Correct.
Right? How much can you take before you say, okay, I'm done?
Well, for some of us, it's like when it's harder to stay than to leave, you will ultimately go ahead and leave. And sometimes your higher self has to assist you with the transition or the move. Yeah. Sometimes you're not always strong enough to do it on your own. You need some assistance, some heavenly assistance or whatever you would call it. Because sometimes you are just not strong enough to lead. In my case, I was not. Circumstances moved him.
Right.
So sometimes it will come and assist you when you're not.
You're extra blessed though.
Yes, she is.
So, and then it's like also from I can only speak from experience. It's like when you know enough is enough, you start getting yourself in order. You start making sure checks and balances because you're about to, it's time to go.
Right.
And it's like, is my money right? Is my credit right? Is my job right? Am I making enough money to be able to take care of myself to move on? So getting yourself in order to make that move. If you're completely dependent on a person and they know it, excuse my French, but that's your ass. That literally is. That's yours. Because they're going to be able to continue to play you. If you're there, sorry, you're going to need a
lot more wine.
Because if they know you're completely dependent on them, they can use and abuse you. I mean, because if you're not trying to get yourself ready, you're going to take everything they're giving to you because you have to be there. So,
hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Facebook friends, call in 404-513-7078. We want to get a male perspective on some of the topics that we've been speaking about. Call in and continue the conversation.
So, let's just kind of go back to what we would say to some of our young ladies that are, just now starting out in relationships and all that stuff. So what
we have a male caller.
We got a caller? Okay.
Let's see what they're about to say.
All right, let's go.
So you're calling me, can you FaceTime so that we can put you on blast?
Put him on speaker.
Yeah, so we can see you is what I'm saying.
Put him on
so
speaker.
we can see what you're saying. Can you call in? Oh, we've started. We're live.
Okay, anyway, we're going to move on. Hopefully he'll get that situation squared away here in just a few minutes. Going back to the question about asking some information or advice that we would give some of our young ladies.
So it's,
okay.
We're talking about when is enough enough? Like experiences that you've had before. Can you FaceTime in?
Can you put him on speaker too so we can actually hear that conversation? No. Okay. Shalita, what advice would you give to a young, some of our young girls that are struggling in relationships and, finding boyfriends or whatnot? What advice would you give to them?
Are they struggling to find boyfriends or are they struggling in a relationship?
Yeah, whichever. The
best advice I can give anybody, if they're struggling in a relationship, is get your stuff together. Get your stuff together because you never know when you may really want to get out of there. When you've had enough, when enough is enough. So, this thing, we take a beat. I did it.
I don't know why.
Okay. Hello. Okay, we're putting you on. So when is enough enough? I'm gonna put you right here where folks can see you. Got a male caller. You
Here you
gonna
go, Django.
So when is enough enough for you? We're doing good.
Enough is enough. You get to the point where the person breathes wrong, you want to ask them why they breathing so loud. That's when you know
You singing it right.
it's enough.
Do you have any like experiences on the male side where, you know, what experience have you had where you say, you know what, I can't take this no more?
Well, for a male, like I said, of course, you know, males and females are created different. It does take a lot for a male to say, you know what, you know, I mean, my personal experience, the person I've been dating for several, a few years actually, and it became to a point where she was abusive, and I came to the point where I was like, fuck it.
You were getting beat up?
It was, I mean, sometimes it's not even physical. Sometimes it's, you know, a whole plethora of different things for us abuse. But when a person realizes, like, what the hell? Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like that, being a country boy from Florida, you know, we just like, you know, whatever, it'll blow over. But at the same time, you gotta know your worth.
Gotta know your worth.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. Good one. All right. You, a person, needs to know their worth.
So,
Okay.
right. So when you know your worth, and at that point, all the bad outweighs the good, you ain't got nothing to lose.
Okay. Question.
Okay.
Nothing to lose.
How do you determine your worth? Where does that worth come from?
Right.
How do you determine your worth? Where does that worth come from?
And you said it best, Breezy, the other week. When you lose yourself trying to make someone else happy, and then you find to realize, you know, like, excuse my language, but what the hell? When it hits you like a ton of bricks, and you're like, what the fuck have I been doing? That's when you know it's time to get the hell on.
We got you.
Because everything comes behind that. Yeah, everything comes behind that is never good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Bojango. I think we're gonna keep you on the team, Bojango. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Right. So hey, that was deep.
That was one of our male perspectives. That you need to know your worth.
Know your worth. You know, hey, that's another topic that we will definitely need to have discuss at a later date. Know your worth. You know, that can take years.
Do you think is your worth determined by that person?
No.
That's for you. That's for me. It doesn't, are you the woman to a rich guy and now I'm married to this rich guy, I'm married to this doctor and that's my worth and he knows it. And now you're taking everything that he's throwing your way simply because he knows you ain't with him for any other gold digger, right? Or whatever. You sit there, gold digger. You sitting there and you by his side, not out of love, and you're there out of desperation so that you can, drive his car, spend his money, go to these fancy places so you can say, I'm Mrs. Dr. blah, blah, blah. Is that your worth? That's how you determine your worth, by somebody else's accomplishments?
Hey, Facebook friends, chime in on that.
How
do you know your worth?
Because I'm starving.
I mean, that's a great question. I think that a lot of us really don't know the answer to. We really don't know what our worth is. It takes us years. I mean, and some people never really know exactly, what their worth is. I mean, there's so many people in situations, males and females, that are in relationships that they just cannot get out of because they feel like they just cannot get anybody else.
R. Kelly said it's trapped in the closet.
Trapped in the closet. God, hey, That's another
You
topic
feel
right
like
there.
that. You cannot get out if you don't have the resources to get yourself out. That's why you have to do what you're supposed to do in the time that you're allotted, getting yourself together, going to school, living, just educating yourself and not depending on the man. And men, same thing. We're not, like she said, trying to bash men. We want you to be your highest and best self. And that comes with educating yourself, doing what you're supposed to do when it's time to do it. I like to allude and say that just like the Atlanta Falcons, they get 4 quarters just like Dallas gets 4 quarters. What do you do with the 4 quarters of your life? Every quarter counts. Don't wait until the last minute when you got 10 seconds left to try to throw a blitz and all this other stuff. You got to do what you're supposed to do in every quarter of your life, every
And that's
second.
being prepared, like I said, to give advice to young women or women that's in situations they know they need to leave out of. Get yourself together because it doesn't make any sense for you to leave and you're going to be struggling, right? Do you need to finish up that PhD? Do you need to finish up that bachelor's so that you can stand on your own 2 feet? Or are you going to continue to, I don't know, just continue to be dependent? And that's what it is. It's dependent. You're dependent on somebody else to pay your bills, to get, put gas in your car, and all that. You need to get yourself together. That's all I'm saying.
I said that would be me, but you know what? I just feel like a man is supposed to provide for the ladies. That's just my perspective because I grew up in a household where my dad was the breadwinner. My mom did not have to work. And I think just, based on me seeing all of that, in my mind, hey, that's what a man is supposed to do. A man is supposed to provide. The woman is not supposed to work unless they absolutely want to work. And the man is supposed to take care of them and provide for them. So maybe that's how I got that in my mind. I don't know. My mom, too.
Maybe because that's how you were raised.
Exactly.
What about when you need to leave and you can't because he has a baby by the lady across the street,
Right.
around the corner?
So
And back in the old
be
days,
okay then?
they used to do that type of stuff.
You don't need a lot more wine.
You don't
You
need a
couldn't
lot
be.
more wine.
So
if you
now
don't
women
do
are
that.
educating themselves, make just as much money as men do. And another topic I would like to discuss is your success hurting your relationship.
Right.
Do some of us think that we're men? I don't want to come across like a man. So we, as women, need to find that balance, how to let the king still lead while you still going to win.
Absolutely. That's another topic for sure.
Yeah, one thing I want to state is that, piggybacking on your topic there, is Black women are the highest educated group in the United States of America, which pretty much means the world. That means we are more educated than white men, Chinese men, Asian men, all the women. As a group, we are the highest educated group, which means we go for ours. Put it there. If we want it, we're going for it. So are we being penalized for our success? If we get into a relationship and that person is insecure about our success, are we being penalized like that? Because that can cause a whole heck of a lot of pain, right? You're like, I made this accomplishment. I'm successful in getting my degree and making my money. Now I want my husband.
Right.
And then you go out there and you're like, oh my God, he's perfect. This is exactly what, like my sister told me, she is extremely successful and has a phenomenal house and everything. And one advice that she gave me, she was like, if you're out there dating and you find somebody you really like, don't invite them to your house.
Wow, that can be an intimidating factor.
She was like, just let them get to know you for you really, really well.
Right.
Because once they come to your house and they see how you living, especially in the beginning, then they're gonna instantly become insecure. Period. Because like what Carla said, if you're under that impression that a man is supposed to lead, the man is supposed to provide, but they walk into your house and it looks like you don't need nobody to provide anything for you.
That's right.
Just because we have physical and tangible things does not mean we do not need that spiritual and intimate stuff as well. We need love. We need security. We need for somebody, like when it's a terrible day out there at work, like I had a horrible day yesterday, to come home and have somebody just wrap their arms around you and have something else to talk about. Right? Those are also things that are needed in life to survive. Money and all that, that's success financially. That's not success spiritually and intimately.
That's what I want to ask you. How do you define success? Because success doesn't have to be the physical or the tangible things either. Yeah. And then sometimes as women, do we get this stuff and think that we're all of that? You know what I mean? Like you need to calm yourself down. So
Right.
you just gotta have
Take it back a notch.
balance.
Yeah.
Back it up.
Because I was listening to one of them morning shows, and this girl had just graduated from school. She was a lawyer, whatever, young lady, and the host was saying, so if you met like a guy that worked at Delta that was really, was doing really well, but he wasn't making as much as you, but he was really cute and everything, she was like, if he ain't making as much as me, there's nothing for us to talk about. And then the female host was like, "Aw, look at you! You're all rich and everything, but you going to bed alone again.
Wow.
You going to bed alone again tonight
Again.
So
Wow.
I mean, what's important to you?" And
Yeah. So, hey, those are some really, good points that we've made here today. We've talked about when is enough enough. Anybody have some questions, or when is enough for you?
Dion Akins again said,
Okay.
"That's their worth, not yours. It takes emotional intelligence."
Emotional intelligence to know your worth.
Dion, can you call in? Are you able to call in where you are? 404-513-7078. We would like to talk with you a little bit more about that emotional intelligence piece.
All right.
Larry Brooks says, "Do ladies think it's an age thing when it comes to men not understanding your successes and being expected of that?"
I like that. I can let me just kind of touch on that a little bit. I think some of our older men as well, I don't really think it's an age thing. It may be sometimes when you're a little bit younger, you really have a lot of insecurities, but I think some of the older men that I've dealt with as well, they just kind of feel like, if they see, like Shalita was saying earlier, if they see that you are, you have a nice house, you have a nice job, and you really don't, they think you don't really need them for anything. I think a lot of our older men have those same insecurities as well. I really don't think it has a lot to do with age. I don't really know, but
Maybe they're thinking like, what you were thinking, that the man is supposed to provide.
Right.
The woman isn't supposed to do anything unless she has to. And then if she's going to work, is that impression in his mind that I'm not providing well enough and she has to now go to work?
That's a heavy topic because it's going to be a lot of things, right? So basically,
Hey,
We have a caller, Dion, that's on the line. We just wanted you to kind of expound a little bit on the topic about a person's worth. Do you mind doing that?
Sure. I think the other gentleman stated very well that, when you find your worth, you gotta know, you have to know yourself, first of all. I've gone through a journey personally where I didn't know myself in healthy relationships because I didn't know, what I really liked. I didn't know what really made me tick. And I didn't know my worth. And when I talk about work, I'm saying, okay, I like to put it in terms like, there are 8 hours of the 24 hours in a day. 8 hours, 8 to 10 to 12 hours I'm working. How much is my time worth? How much is it worth to me? And how much of that am I willing to let someone else have? So I kind of quantify everything based on that and say, okay, how important, is that other person going to be to me in order to be allowed from my time?
Right. That's a good point.
So, when I think about it on those terms, I'm like, I'm 52 now. I have 0 time to waste.
I know, that's
We all think like that. All of us, that's half of 100.
So, when you start thinking on terms like, okay, my time is worth this much, this is what I'm trying to get accomplished. This person fit into that plan.
Right.
That's what we're talking about, when's enough. It's only to figure out that person ain't part of that plan. Say, if I'm trying to go right and you're going left, they don't need
It's like, do not waste no more of my time. I hear that. 'Cause I got things to do and I'm trying to accomplish
That's
things.
good. And it seems like when you get older, that really comes into play. You just don't have time for all
The
the drama.
craziness.
that becomes little because it decreases pay.
Yes, it does.
It's like take a horn of your own 70-year-old guy.
Uh-huh. Right? Yeah, that's right.
Old people ain't got nothing to get.
Amen to that.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cut to the chase. I like that. That's another topic, Annie. Cut to the chase. All right, well, Dion, great.
But I have a question for you, Dion. So, like you said, when you got a lot of stuff to do. You're working, you're trying to accomplish things, and somebody, you meet somebody and you're trying to figure out if they fit into that plan, and if they're work, you taking a break from all the hours you're putting in for work. So, like for you, what type of qualities would you be looking for in a woman to where you say, yeah, I think I'm gonna cut out of work at 5 and go see what she's up to? And then what kind of, I just want to know, because we need some male perspective. And what type of qualities that you notice where you like, yeah, no, I'm going to keep working because, yeah, it's not worth my time.
Well, I'm kind of reading on you real well, and I'm kind of a different guy. I'm attracted to something.
Yeah, okay.
Just for the word is over for me.
He said he's attracted to intelligence for those that may not have heard him well. And he's like, you split a verb, it's over.
That means don't speak. I know.
What that is over there. Don't say that because it's not going to attract him.
Dion, thank you so much for calling. We still talking about that. My bad. Go ahead, Dion.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm really not like that shallow, but I think that we live in a right now society that everybody wants instant gratification.
Right now.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, so wait.
Just getting down and just talking.
Right.
And have a conversation, because I tell guys all the time, I say, boy, if you would just sit down and shut up and listen, a woman will tell you everything that you need to know in order to capture her heart.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Okay, I got a question, Dion.
And you be trying to fool with somebody to where we just don't sit down and listen.
All right. He talked about sitting down and just listening, which is key.
He said,
listen.
guys, he has told too many young guys that if you just shut up, sit down, and listen, a woman will tell you everything you need to know to get into her heart.
Ooh, okay, Breeze, you had a question for Mr. Dion?
Dion, I have a question. So basically, we were talking about women's success and maybe the man not having an equal amount of money, right? So we're supposed to fall back and don't let the money make the decision. And you said you don't want someone if they cannot speak, I guess, correct English. You're not that shallow. So why can't you buy her a dictionary and bring her up to speed with you? If you want, if
she worth you, trying to help her
get everything, encyclopedias and dictionary.
Ooh, we got a lot of comments over here.
Okay.
Oh, I can't answer, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look beyond the surface to get to the core. That's a good one. That's good.
Conversation will do that. Just engage in conversation. If you ever meet a person that they cannot hold an intelligent conversation.
Oh my God, you are so just like me. I'm sorry, you are. You just like me. If you cannot, and I say that's how I know if I'm gonna go out with a guy again or not, is if we're talking and he can't speak, decent, correct English. It's like, how am I gonna take you around my friends? And then how am I gonna, if I have to go to a business Christmas event, I just can't show up with you. I swear I can't. So.
When you meet people and you ask their answers, that's a question like this. What was the last book you read?
Yes.
Well, I can't really determine somebody by the last book they read because I don't like reading books, and I am very intelligent reading books. All right, Mr. Dion.
For me, I know I like to crowd out reading what I call useless information.
Right.
I'll look back at the last book I read and I enjoyed the power and I'm like, Claude Anderson. And remember this book, I think every black person in America should read that book.
Okay. All right. Well,
Which book is that?
Dr. Claude Anderson.
Okay.
Powernomics.
All right, Mr. Dion, thank you so much for calling in. You gave us some valuable information, and you're gonna need a lot more wine. Okay?
Drink responsibly. So a suggestion, a good read, Mr. Dion says, Powernomics, Claude Anderson. Was it Claude Anderson?
I believe so.
Dr. Claude Anderson. Put that on your must-read books, and on your next date, maybe you can speak about that with your date.
All right.
What else?
So I think we can pretty much get close to wrapping this thing up. Hopefully we've had some really good conversation here and some things that you all can learn from.
I do have a question, and I know normally we would be coming to you guys on Saturday, and we're coming to you on Friday. I said this already, and I know a lot of people at work. A couple of my girlfriends said they wanted to chime in, but they'll try to make it if they can get out of work on time. And like one of my girlfriends just hit me now, like, Lord, it's been a terrible day. But Saturdays are when we're really gonna do this, and we want to know how you feel about this stuff, right? Because as far as like this dating environment right now, like Mr. Claude said, it's a me environment. And I just said this to somebody else the other day. The reason things don't last long is because we're not really willing to go past our comfort level. Like, okay, yeah, I'm not feeling this guy right now. It's all about me, and I'm gone. I'm moving on to the next one. I'm gonna move on to the next one. I'm gonna move on to the next one. And people is trying, and we're not blind out there. People know when you're trying to attach to them for the things that they got, that you're trying to get attached to them for the things that they got, right? Especially guys, they're always talking about gold diggers this, gold diggers that. Even though we're the highest educated group, women, we're the highest educated group in the world, black women in the world, guys still look at us like we're trying to come in and get in their pockets when our pockets, are pretty fat themselves.
Already.
So we're looking at you like, what can you bring to the table? I already got the table set up. What you gonna put on top of it? What you gonna put on top of this table that I already got set up? So, that's all I got to say, seriously. But we want to know from you guys, is relationships, because of our successes. I'm in IT, and I've been in IT for a very long time, so I'm doing pretty darn well. Is our success a hindrance to you guys coming at us? To look at us as dateable material, or will you think, oh, she's gonna kick me to the curb as soon as somebody better than me comes along? And that's absolutely ridiculous. Because if you got personality and you can make us laugh and you're intimate and all those wonderful things, why in the world would we get rid of you? That's ridiculous. That's insane. But I don't know.
Do you still want us even if you think we don't need you? That's a whole nother
financially,
if
we financially don't need you, because we do need you for other things.
All right, okay.
Can you think of those things?
Kick the dog, Lord.
Anyways, she shouldn't even been down. But can you think of those other things?
All right, okay.
That's just a question.
So thank you so much for chiming in, Facebook friends and followers. So our next topic for next week is going to be gold digger to gold digger. Stay tuned. We thank y'all so much for chiming in, and stay tuned for next Saturday about this same time around 4:30.
On Saturday.
All right. Hey, Saturday to bring your glass in, mama. All right.
I like red.
Once you like red, I like orange, but you're going to need a lot more wine. All right. All right, let's get it.
Hi, Lottie.
What y'all think? What you think, mama?
I definitely saw you was looking.
Oh my God, can I end it?